Carmen, lovely to have you again. How are
Thank
you
you,
doing?
Emma. Good, good. I'm excited.
Yeah,
Always excited to talk to you.
yeah, it's lovely. I've learned so much from you. Thank you. Thank you for just being there. It's so important for people like us who are learning all, and you are the ones who are sharing your, profound knowledge and experiences to help others. It's
Yes,
very, very important.
thank
And a
you.
very critical time on this planet Earth for all of us to come together as a collective and expand, get into the expansive state of awareness. So I
Oh,
think
thank
let's
you.
talk about how to recognize patterns, because you have been talking about also about balancing of yin and yang and recognizing patterns, and also a little bit we can delve more into your shared experiences related to changing your karmic patterns.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, first, I would like to begin by saying that I feel like I don't know much. I feel like I am in diapers. Yeah, I mean, part of my human design, um, I have the like a right side of the brain activated, you could say, and I tend to absorb a lot of information. But it doesn't mean that I'm an expert. But I'm here just to bring awareness. There are some people that, based on their design, they came here to go super deep, and they're called part of the line one in the human design system. I have a line 3-5. Line three is here to experiment with different things, and then the line five is related to the throat chakra, and I'm here to come and share. and
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean that I'm an expert. But I do like sharing about things that I have tried and tested by myself. So going back to your question, the yin and yang, the polarity of things. We were just talking earlier about everything in the universe has a polarity. Everything, day and night, right?
Yeah.
Sun and moon. It's just the foundations of the
Yeah.
polarity of things. Masculine, feminine energy. Feminine is more like intuition, just connecting with our senses, creativity, a lot of that. Masculine is more like, let's get it done, it's like the fire energy. And when it comes to healing, I just find it fascinating because there are so many things that can be done, just to balance the energy of our bodies. So we can come back to that balance that the body needs, like everything. When you go too much into one extreme, let's say, when I think about the gene keys and human design, there are some codes. Some people have like highly activated mind, lots of mental pressure, they just want, this is very masculine energy. They just want to know it all, connect the dots, come up with formulas, answer research. They just drive themselves crazy. I am one of them. I have some codes there. I actually have 4 out of the 9 codes in the
Wow.
mental.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we have the solar plexus. This is the center of emotions that get us connected more with our feelings, intuitions, and all of that. But when we go too much to one extreme or the other, this is where we get sick, you know? This is where we get headaches, anxiety, um, just depression, anything, it can just be not good for the body. And what I began noticing is, with a lot of people that I've been doing sessions, is that they're like either in one corner or the other side, like nurturing their brain, their mind too much with information, but not able to ground information. The body is not connected to the mind. So, and that's what I like reminding people, even if they're not within human design or gene keys, nurture your body as well, because there's got to be a balance between heart, the body, the mind, the spirit, all of it, so you can have more peaceful life. More than, for me, keeping this balance brings a lot of happiness and inner peace. And to me, this is my goal in life,
Yeah.
just having that inner peace. So no matter what happens out there with the government, I don't watch the news. I haven't watched the news in years, but I know there is a lot going on in the US right now. And yeah, I mean, if you
Yeah.
get too much into the news, it can, just bring your body into depression, So today I would like to talk about some ways to, just bring the body back into balance.
Yeah.
Is it okay if we keep going, or do you have any
Yeah,
question?
you can please share because this. First of all, I want to know how do you recognize the pattern, like recognizing what is repeating in your life, how to notice and observe that both through gene keys, human design, and your personal observation. Why I ask this, I relate this observation of patterns with what we call as prarabdha karma that we get it from our past lives, and you
Mm-hmm.
got to face and deal with it. You cannot do much around, like they say, change your karma and you can do this, you can do that. No, in prarabdha karma you have to do certain activities, you have to deal with it, face it. And of course there is a process as per Sanatan Dharma. They have their own ways of discussing and working with it. But what about the patterns? I feel patterns are a way that they show you what is there in your life,
Mm-hmm.
what is inherent in your life that you need to look into.
Mm-hmm. To me, more than anything, I listen to my body more
Mm-hmm.
than information. Because if my body, if I'm like all anxious, when something is not, like I'm not able to control with the mind
Mm-hmm.
and I'm getting anxiety, to me, this is a moment for me just to sit down and just do nothing. Because in human design, we learned that the mind has not been created to make decisions for us. This is the thing that is right there in our body that has been created to help us, absorb information, just get informed. But it's not the thing to help us make decisions. The body is, but
Yeah.
again, we're just so out of alignment that as a society, I think most of us have given the power to the mind. That's what what I'm saying is that I don't listen to my mind. I can feel it in my body when something is off, you know?
Yeah.
And this is where I can just go back and look at different techniques to bring my body into alignment. And this is like, I don't look at anything other like what my mind is telling me. Because sometimes the mind feels like because you have more information, you're going to come up with a way to resolve your problems.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's like, listen to your body because your body will tell you, if you have like lower back pain, I mean, I remember reading a book about, I can't remember the title, but the thing is like, there are some pain that is related to memories and sicknesses. What I know is that if you have lower back pain, it is concerned to too much thinking about money, finances. If you're carrying the pressure of your family to feed your family, and all the pressure is being held in the back of your back, it's time to do some
Yeah.
stretching, like yoga, for example, can help. And you don't not need to go to a yoga class because now, I mean, we're so lucky that we have the internet that we can get on YouTube and find yoga exercises, for the
Yeah.
lower back pain, you know, um, movement and emotions are just uh, is energy that is trapped in the body. And what do you need to do to find the flow? Is just move that energy. I remember going to Tony Robbins event
Yeah.
some years ago, 10 years ago, maybe longer.
Mm.
And I remember something beautiful that he helped us. He did during this retreat. He told us that if you put a pen between your teeth, it just sends a message to the brain to tell the brain that you're happy. This is one way to trick your body into thinking that it's happy. You know, also he made us jump, just like we were all jumping for hours just to change the mood. I mean, this could be ancestral. It could be from this generation as well. With I also went to Dr. Joe Dispenza's retreats. I actually studied for 3 years.
Wow.
I went deep with his courses, and he has one technique. He makes you relax the perineal part of the body that is right below, between the sex organs and the anus. Yeah, so you just put pressure in the perineum, and through breath exercises, you can move energy from the root chakra all the way to the head chakra.
Yeah, the central meridian fluid rises up.
Exactly, moving energy from the body.
Moving energy.
And then, whoa, I seriously have gone like far away with that technique.
That's really good.
That's just with meditation. You don't need to go anywhere. Like I said, we're so lucky, we're so blessed of the internet that you can go and find his meditations online for free now. I mean, I did pay thousands of dollars to get his courses and meditations like 8 years ago, but now there is so much of his material out there for free.
Yeah.
You know, there is another technique called EFT. I also bought the courses like 10, 15 years ago. And I do practice, I do practice all of these things, because these are like quick things that you can do, you know, like tapping, EFT. It's just like tapping around the body. You know, there are certain points that are stronger, you know, to move energy. But what it does is just awakens the stagnant energy in the body, you know, and that's an easy one. If you do it for like a few minutes and also have an intention, it helps you move energy out of the body.
EFT has affirmations also with it, right? You need to repeat some affirmations also with it?
Right.
Or one can do it without it?
I think you can create your own, you know. I mean, this is like the era that we're living, giving the power away to the teacher, to the guru, telling you what to do. But you can just put your own intention, what you want to release, you know. If you're having like, you're not able to get a job, for example, you know, just what you want to release, you know. If you're having like, you're not able to get a job, for example, you know, just ask, I always ask the universe to just help you unblock the energy inside your body that is not letting you find that job. You know what I mean? Just talk from the heart, you know. These are so many simple techniques. For me, all of this is yin energy, feminine energy that take us away from the mind. You know, techniques, maybe I just put some quick notes before the call. Oh, and I know you're going to interview Jacopo, the Italian guy.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that for children. I really, because they are the future of humanity now. We need these brilliant souls, you know, working towards oneness and guiding everyone.
And Jacopo has also been very passionate about the PHS, which is Primary Health System. This is within human design. This is the part of human design that reminds us that in order to keep balance, we need to take care of the body, not only the mind. And within this system, basically, you know, when you pull your profile, it will tell you how your body was designed to work in this incarnation. And also, I mean, within this system, you learn which is the best environment for your body to thrive. So you're not so much, you know, you're not getting sick. You're not so much in your head. You know, you're in the right environment where you can connect with people that are good for you, actually. What's it called? Wet kitchens, my profile, and places that are really crowded.
What really teacher?
Wet, like water.
Oh, okay.
That's what the names in human design don't make sense to me. They're kind of weird, but it works. Yeah, I remember I used to live in Bali, in Utah at the time, and this is probably the worst place for me, for my body. I was always sick. I always had to carry like a bag with medication because I couldn't breathe well. I had asthma. I also had what's it called? EpiPen. I don't know if you have that in Canada. EpiPen, like an adrenaline shot. Because I couldn't just breathe. My lungs would get clogged. You know, I couldn't breathe. And I didn't know human design at the time. And I paid for lots of you know, just treatments that didn't heal me. It was like a Band-Aid. It would help me feel better, but it didn't heal the root cause of my sickness,
So tell me one thing, that your sickness, did it lead to any kind of deeper depression or, sadness
No,
or something that pulled you inside that, okay,
I
nothing can be
didn't
done?
have depression. I actually experienced depression for the very first time in my life in 2012.
Okay.
This is the year that I decided to leave Utah.
Mm.
And I was doing some banking work. And I mean, I was contemplating for an entire year to just leave the job that I was doing and also leave in Utah. And for about a month, I remember sitting in my office and crying. I'm an emotional being, just
Yeah.
crying. But the funny thing is, while I was sitting there and crying, there was this like feeling of something is off, something is missing in my life, but I don't know what it is. But that day, I think it was February of 2012, I decided to quit my job. I
Mm-hmm.
bought a plane ticket to Bali. And
Wow.
I told my manager I was leaving the company. I gave him 2 weeks notice. And then I called my husband. I did that all within 20 minutes. Because, like I said, I was like, I had this inner suffering, inner pain, and I could not put a label on it.
Mm.
All I knew is that my soul was telling me, sister, you gotta leave this job. I mean, this is not making you happy. And I was making really good money at the
Mm.
time because I
Yeah.
was doing some investments. And, I was like getting really good commissions. The
Yeah.
problem wasn't the job or the people, but something else was happening
Yeah.
inside of my body. So I left and I bought the plane ticket to Bali, but at the time we didn't have internet. We didn't have Instagram, or there was Instagram. I don't know. I didn't use it.
Yeah.
There was other social media channels, but I ended up moving to Bali, and I started noticing how my health began improving because I was in the right environment for my body,
Mm.
which is called wet kitchens. Wet is humid. Kitchen is something busy. So crowded places are really healthy for me. And I stopped taking all the medication. I remember I even did like 2 years of um, test in one of these clinical offices in Utah. And they were just injecting me the same things that I was allergic to.
Yeah.
So to just make my immune system stronger,
Yeah.
but it wasn't working. It wasn't working until 2 years.
Mm.
Every other day I was going to the clinic to get the shot. And I remember in one ayahuasca ceremony, I was purging all of that medicine I put in my body over the years. All of that medicine. It was crazy. But the reason I'm sharing this is because I was talking about the PHS, that through human design, it tells
Yeah.
you exactly where is the right environment for you, with the best conditions for your body to be at peace. Then it talks about the way you eat, not so much what you put in your plate. Yeah. So yeah, I was just saying that the reason I brought up, Bali and the job and all of this is because I got to see the shift in my health when I changed environments to something that was correct for me, even though I didn't know it was correct for me because I didn't have human design at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then also PHS, and Jacopo is probably gonna explain to you when you do the interview. Through PHS, you learn that it's not so much what you put in your plate, what you eat, but it's the conditions where you're taking the food in that will help nurture your brain, actually. Yeah, for me, I need like crowded places and a lot of stimulation. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in Bali, did you, over the period of time in Bali, what did you do? Like, what did you accomplish by going to Bali?
Well, I went to Bali, like I said, in 2012. Then I traveled a little bit for like 3 years. Um, and that was a period of my life where I began doing things that I didn't think I could do. I left what my mind thought that I was capable of doing, and that's it. I kind
Yeah.
of began kind of like discovering some things, the creative side, because my husband had his professional photographer, but he didn't know he was one until we began traveling. We left the comfort zone. And we began kind of like offering our services to boutique hotels. And I began doing a lot of writing, which is part of one of my gifts, the 1222 channel in the Human Design System.
Yeah, your posts are amazing, amazing information, and the way you put it all together, it's brilliant.
I was actually putting my gifts to work without even knowing. You know, I have two codes. It's called the 6447. Sometimes we're able to connect the dots, but it takes us years to come up with the connections. You know, it's like an private investigator. We're just this, you know, and then we're like, whoa, voila, I got the answer. You know, this is how it works. This is how it's all connected. And the 1222 is just the capacity to be able to write. It just comes so fast to me, you know. I wish I could write, shrink it, you know, but I'm like, it all looks important. But yeah, Bali, we did travel. We went back to the US, and then we left again. And the second time was around 2019, end of 2019, and then the lockdown, you know, the COVID happened. I had a vacation rental business in the US that I was managing with my husband. And Bali was, to me, now is 2026, right? 6 years after, I can see that it was what I needed to take care of myself. Because that was the very first time in my life that I actually sat and I began contemplating, meditating. I actually was doing some meditation in Utah, but in Bali was like more the connection to nature, more the connection to plant medicine. I was doing some mushrooms, even though it's illegal. I was doing it.
Yeah, Bali is famous for all plant medicine, you know, retreats and ceremonies.
Actually, it's a lot of healing, but not plant medicine because it's illegal. But Bali, there is an expression that the locals use. They said, Bali will suck you in and throw you when you're done with your inner work or whatever. So I know a lot of people that goes to Bali and not planning on doing inner work, and somehow the energies, because this is Bali is part of the main ley lines of the planet. One is connected here in Peru, another is in Bali. So the energy of the environment forces you to go deep, even if you didn't ask for it. So I was just doing a lot of journaling there. Sometimes I was microdosing mushrooms. And this is where a lot of healing happened for me personally. There was one memory. This is probably the biggest release I had in those years that I was in Bali. I was sexually abused when I was 11. And I went to therapy, traditional therapy. I don't know how many sessions I did. I could not tell the therapist. I could not open up. I didn't feel safe. Who knows for what reason? And when I was in Bali with mushrooms, I remember it brought one of the memory of, you know, me. I remember, wow, I might cry now because I got to relive that memory. And I started writing, and I remember crying for a long time. And what was crazy is that, you know, I was married for 21 years, but at the time it was like 15, 16, 17 years, who knows? But I never told my husband that part of my life because I was shy, embarrassed. I was, you know, you can call it anything, but there were so many parts of me that didn't want to share that. I was, more than anything, I felt like I caused that.
I'm sorry to bring, revive your old wounds. It's thank you for sharing. It might help many people.
Yeah, mushrooms helped me with that. Not therapy. Not this lady. I remember she was in Utah, and I was recommended by someone within the bank because she had, I can't remember her name, but she had many years of experience as a therapist, and she was part of the LDS church. So yeah, she tried to help me, but yeah, I could not open up. But I did a lot of deep healing with it came up with mushrooms and it came up with bufo, the 5-MeO DMT. Whoa, I got to see all of the weight that I've been carrying in my body, leaving, going back to source. Oh, that was one of the most magical things. Then I told my husband, you know, what happened, and I felt like, oh my gosh, finally I'm able to speak about this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dear Divine Souls, if you have liked the videos and podcasts on SoulJourney-ca, please do like the videos, share with your friends, like and subscribe to our channel to spread the message to a wider audience. I really sincerely appreciate it. Thank you.
So basically, you asked me what was I doing in Bali? A lot of inner work. Since I had the business in the US, yeah, we had a team of people working there, and we were just doing a lot of inner work. And then when I was done, I came back to Peru. I did ayahuasca, and ayahuasca told me to come to Peru just to come and bring more awareness of plant medicine to the world, you know? So,
Yeah.
mhm.
In your post, you have also spoken about the yinest energy. You know, you have said that this feminine energy is master of receptivity.
Mhm.
So, is
Yeah.
this something that you can explain with your experience?
The yin energy is, like I said, it's just connection to
Yeah,
your the inner parts of you, you know,
yeah,
the
yeah.
body, the intuition. When I look at the human design system, I think of the genus energy is located in the solar plexus. I think there are 10, 11 codes there.
In the
It's like
solar plexus,
solar plexus. Uh-huh.
10, 11
Yeah.
codes. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. In the human design system, we can see all the chakras and we can see all the codes labeled there. But yeah, this is like the most emotional people right there, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, when we're out of balance, we can be so dramatic, you know? But when we are in high, vibrating high, I mean, a lot of these people, for example, there is one cross that has like some quotes from here. The cross of love, I believe it is. Yeah, that also the cross of Eden, you know, they have the 36, the 6, 19. What else is there? Yeah, what else? What else is over there? 55, one of the new energy entering the planet is located in the center. It's the feminine energy, you know? Just imagine someone like a nurturing energy, feminine, you know? And all the masculine energies up here in the head, Ajna center, pineal gland area. Uh-huh. This is where they're located. And yeah, I always look at these two when I think the most yin. I mean, all of the codes have polarity, but these are kind of like the most extremes of the, you know, of either the yin or yang. Head center, Ajna center, solar plexus, the yinness.
So where do you kind of, I'm just thinking like these are again like yin and yang kind of polarities in a way, but there is logic in between. Like when we say that there is something between yes and no, there is maybe something like a logic between these extreme uh, what you can say, I'm just looking for the word, between these two energies, like the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang. How do you balance it with logic? Because each of these have their own set of qualities and behavior patterns, but then yet because this is life, logic plays a very active part, and that is the mind.
You know, for me, what's easiest is to find a friend that has the opposite energy because it's easier to catch this with another friend. For example, when I get too much in my head,
Yeah.
when I get too much in my head, I talk to my friends that are the most detached to the material world because they remind me to remember what's important for me. Why are you doing this? You know, what's driving you to do this? I'll give you an example. right now I'm in this process of creating a structure for the website where I think you've seen our
Yeah,
website.
yeah. It's a
Where
beautiful website.
I
It's a
want to
beautiful.
bring, a lot of these feminine energy, the gene keys, human design, um, astrology. I wanna bring more of these like healing ways of, modalities to heal the body that don't require surgery. That is like, more like um, young energy, masculine energy, where you need machines, where you need all of this. I'm trying to bring more of the feminine aspect, feminine ways to heal the body. So when I go into this place where I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we need to do this, I'm like thinking logically, the house, when, who's going to be here and how much this is going to cost. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm getting a headache from all of this.
Mm.
So I reach out to my mom. My mom is a Scorpio, water,
Yeah.
water energy. I talk to my friend Eduardo sometimes. Pisces, water energy reminds me, the why connect me to my heart again, you know.
Yeah.
So I always try to bring my friends to help me balance my own energy, because sometimes I can go super yin also. I
Mm.
can get into dreaming because I have the 22 and the 55. I have the 22 in my evolution and the 55 in my rising sign. I also have 44, which is located with Aquarius energy. That is about, the collective and what we're doing this. So everyone is benefiting, we're here to help. Yeah, I can go into that place and I'm not looking at the money, you know, and I'm like, I just want to bring this facilitator and this facilitator and this facilitator, because I can see all the good they can do to help people,
Yeah.
with their healing. And I can go to either extreme, and this is when I notice when I gotta reach out to my friends. I have the opposite energy. I have another friend. His name is Emildo. He's the one helping me with the website, and
Okay.
he's like, "Oh, it all sounds beautiful, Carmen, but okay, we need to make it practical for people. We need to just make it easy to read. Let's get to the point." And I'm like, "Whoa, Taurus, grounding energy."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I always look for the, like whatever I'm feeling like I'm off, I'm looking for those friends that can help remind me what I'm missing so I can come back into balance. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. It does. I've noticed this in my life too, that I
Mm-hmm.
started doing that recently, that, whenever I get drawn into certain other extreme, when the mind is too much at work or agitated, I feel that I need to talk to somebody who can give me some sense of wisdom and, like at least share their thoughts, which are
Mm-hmm.
away from whatever attachments we have with this world. They're not
Yeah.
totally disconnected, but yet away from, they are not getting pulled into it.
Yeah,
That,
because you have the 51, right? 51,
mm,
57.
yeah,
Yeah.
something, yeah.
Yeah, the 51 is Aries, right? Aries energy. Um, right?
I don't
You
remember.
don't know, but the
Yeah,
51 is like, let's do it. Let's do it now.
yeah, yeah. When that thing comes, everything is aligned. That it's got to be done. It must be done, and usually it works. Like. But sometimes when mind is at work, I feel that I've strayed away from something, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work with the mind.
Exactly. That's when we go too much to the extreme.
Yeah,
When we just get the fire, like, oh, let's do it. But we're not looking at everything else. You know what I mean? But you also have the 57. I also have that.
yeah.
That 57 is pure intuition. That's like a pure, to me, is like one of the most yin also. Intuition, just listening to the heart, to the body, that inner whisper that we get that is like boop, really quick. It tells you what to do, but it's different than the inner drive that let's do it, like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
That I remember people sometimes they say, "You are saying this, like, but what is the reason behind it?" I have no answer to that. It's just
Mhm.
that I feel it's not right or it's good.
because you have the 53. I
Yeah.
also have that 53, but I have it in a different place. I think that's your purpose. The 53 is that energy that it's similar to the 51 that tells you, let's get a, let's begin this project. But if you don't take the time, you don't pause to connect to the why, you may just be initiating lots of things and not be able to finish them. That's why I think it's important to balance the energy. Yes, I have the drive to do this, but why am I doing it? I mean, if it comes from a noble cause, I think the universe will support you on that, So, but it's when we go to one extreme or the other that we get lost.
Yeah, so the key is to pause, no matter how strong the impulse is, either your gut feeling or you have a sense of something, but still pause
Yeah,
and ask a question, where is it coming from? What is the purpose?
Yeah, like personally, I mean, I also have like a strong intuition. 57, I have it 3, 4 times. If I look at the astrology and I go deeper, yeah, it's like all over my chart, like 7, 8 times. High intuition. But what I notice is like when my intuition is telling me to do something, even though I'm an emotional manifestor, emotional people were here to just kind of like wait for the wave, not make decisions right away because there is no truth in the now for us. But I noticed that even though my intuition tells me do this or don't do that, it never changes. But I just gotta wait for my emotions to kind of like, come to balance. And then the answer will match whether to do it, to do something or not. Like, for example, create this new platform where I want to bring a bunch of healers, just holistic ways and to support the community. I mean, that hasn't changed. It's been like there for almost 2 years since my first ayahuasca ceremony. Yeah, I mean, I've been told what I need to do here. That hasn't changed. It's actually getting stronger. And I'm like, oh, I'm connecting to the right people, like you, for example, showing up in my life and wanting me to share my message. So, yeah, I think the universe will bring, the right connections to support the cause, the big cause, as long as you
Meeting
are
you was a very
connected.
interesting miracle for me, I was connected. I was drawn into your post, and I said, I need to speak to this lady. I must speak to her.
Thank
And
you.
you have also mentioned about these certain keys, in yin and yang, and you've also explained how did you pick up these keys, what does it mean picking up the yin keys and the yang keys?
Yeah.
What does it mean picking up? Like, what sense is there?
The most extremes that, for example, I was explaining to you a few minutes ago. The young ones are here. The
Yeah.
mental pleasure, that when we go to one extreme, we can get so caught up in the mind and just, get nowhere. And it creates a lot of mental anxiety, you know? And the most yin, I mean, yes, we can get dreamy because there is a lot of creativity in the solar plexus. These are where the most yin keys come from. That we can talk so much, but don't take action. The most yin, This is just one example. I noticed that when I lived in Bali, where I got to sit with so many people. And yeah, some people wanted to do this or that, and they have all these ideas, but they had a hard time grounding those ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
they're like in the how it's all beautiful, but to me, once again, find someone that has an opposite energy that is in balance to help you ground your ideas. Like again, I have my friend Emildo that is helping me with the website that I can talk about all these mystical experiences, but he's like, okay, sister, we gotta make it happen, Okay, I talk. And he's like, okay, I know. He has one quote, actually two quotes, 2343. They call it the channel of structuring. These people came here to create systems, basically, simplicity. This is what they're really good at. And Emildo has been learning these systems for about 8 to 10 years. So he understands my design. He understands how I work. He understands what I'm trying to get, and he's helping me giving it shape without becoming too overwhelming for people, because I can talk a lot. I know that. But he's like, okay, we have to distill what's important. Okay, this doesn't work. This doesn't serve. Okay, we're just narrowing down these so people can read it,
I can relate to one person. I'll talk to you separately about that.
Yeah, I was telling Emil, though, we need to create a company someday at some point where we can help people ground their dreams, because ideas, a bunch, but to bring them down to earth that are sustainable, not so many. I was a banker. Remember, 10 years, I sat with many business owners where a lot of people get excited, they begin something, and then they don't have the energy to keep that business going, But if you start something from the heart, it won't feel like a job,
So now tell me one thing. Supposing there is a person, I'm just creating an example to explore more about this, that there is a person who has got all ideas to do what is right, in the right way. Maybe very good spirit, very good thoughts, pure-minded. But yet, whenever he wants to attempt something, does something, he, goes a few steps forward, then something happens. It's not that he stops of his own. There is a problem in his life, maybe related to his work, maybe related to his health, maybe related to anything that he has to pause the work, and it could happen multiple times. What would you say to such a person? Would you say, because normally what a person like a healer or an astrologer will say, well, it is karmic, it is there in your chart. What can you do? Maybe you can do a few things like that, but as as a gene keys expert and a plant medicine, knowledgeable person, what would you say? What would you suggest?
Once again, like when you begin something from your heart, even if you have obstacles, if you have a deep calling, it's not going to change, but you might give up if you start something that you were not truly connected to and you just got excited and it sounded pretty in the moment. And maybe it's not part of your calling. I would have to look at the chart, and I think it would be very, very unique for each person. But again, if something is like deeply ingrained in you, in your heart, it's not going to go away. It will remain as being part of your life.
So you mean to say, if it is not there in it's not his calling, or it is not a part of his design, then these obstacles are going to show up? Is that the way I need to interpret this? Like his
I mean,
health,
I'll give you one example, the 53 that you and I have, I remember when I was in college, I had a couple girls that were selling makeup. And they somehow got me into this business, I never sold the makeup. Why? Because I just did it because, I don't know, someone was offering it to me and I couldn't say no. And I'll tell you other examples. When I was a banker, I sat, my office was near a little town where there is a bunch of MLM, network marketing businesses.
Yeah.
And my moon is in Libra. I don't like confrontation with people, So I had many of my customers that they were just beginning this new business and they had that idea that it was going to make them rich. I don't know. Somehow I got into an essential oil business, doTERRA. I believe in the oils, but it wasn't my calling to be selling essential oils, even though I use them and I advertise them, but I don't see myself selling essential oils, So I signed up for doTERRA. Then there was another business about legal business with some lawyers. I signed up for that. Another one selling some chocolates. I can't remember the brand. But I'm just giving you examples that I initiating some businesses that were not part of my calling. So they didn't last. But the vacation rental business, for example, that was my heart. I'm like, I want to decorate these places. I want to create experience for people. I went to Bali, and we were traveling for many years.
Mm.
That business never died. Why? Because it was part of my calling. I was passionate about the business, and I was making it work even though I was overseas traveling. I was doing a lot of the orders online. I was talking to my employees, and I would connect with them heart to heart, you know. I worry about their families and all of that. So what I'm trying to say is, like, when it's part of your calling, when something that drives you, you'll make it work no matter what, you know. And that happened even through COVID. You know, I had the business in the US, and I was in Bali, and then, like, the 2 years before I decided to sell the business with my husband, um, I felt the shifting energy. I'm like, the cycle has ended. I need to sell this business. And there was a period of that between the feelings, not feeling passionate about the business anymore, and until I did it, because I had to go through a journey of, oh my gosh, what are we going to eat? You know, we're losing the business, the money, the income, all of these material things, you know, young energy, like all of the money, even though my heart was saying, sister, you're done with this, you know, just let it go. I could not let it go because I was so attached to the material and safety. And then I did two journeys with mushrooms in a temazcal with a shaman. This is the moment that I started, like, crying, begging for my life, and releasing all of this attachment to the material. And then after like a month or something, I was like, I'm ready to sell the business. It was beautiful to have it for the period I had it, and now someone else can take over, you know? And we sold it. But yeah, so
That's
the
very
connection, you
interesting.
know, yeah, the heart connection.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
That's
in
the
this
yin.
retreat that you're going to have in June, is this something that you will be working with people like the human design, gene keys, and
Yes, we have a
plus
program,
these
and
attributes?
we have a program. I actually prefer to do the human design sessions one-on-one because each design is very unique. I
Yeah.
mean, there are general topics that we'll talk about, but for sessions, yeah, I like sitting with one-on-one person so I can look at, you know, their pain points, where they're falling on their face, and, you know, just kind of bring the analytical part of me that is Virgo, and just
Yeah.
point out some things that I see. But this is a journey. After the retreat, we continue to walk. You know, there are some free sessions, and then it can be paid, where we can continue supporting the person. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely. You have any
But for
final
me,
message?
say it
Sorry,
again.
I
No,
said
for
you.
me, the retreat, oh my gosh, the sun is changing. Like, I can see my face so dark.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, the retreat is the yin energy because it gets you out of the mind
Okay.
into the body. You know, there is a lot of things that you'll experience that you're not able to make sense with your mind. So yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, it's lovely talking to you, Carmen. Do you have any final message for people who will
Um,
be watching this? And
um, you know, for people that are in a bad place, I would just like to remind them to breathe, just to, you know, just bring their body to balance through breath. It's so simple, can be done at home. And yeah, so that would be something to remind everyone. Love your body, because if your body is not in alignment, it's not going to be able to support you with all the mental ideas that you have up here. There's got to be a balance, you know. So
yeah,
that would
yeah,
be the last thing. Thank you,
absolutely.
Kamaljeet.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Carmen. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.